Lewis Hamilton has just lit a fuse under Ferrari. A revelation so raw, so jarring, and so unfiltered, it sent shockwaves rippling through the paddock. And no, it didn't come from a press release or a media briefing. This came straight from the cockpit, live, emotional, and brutally candid, broadcast over team radio and confirmed minutes later in a series of interviews that have now exploded across the Formula One world. On the eve of Ferrari's most treasured weekend, at their spiritual home in Imola, Hamilton exposed a technical flaw that not only wrecked his chances this weekend, but one he claims has plagued him since the day he first put on the red suit. And this isn't some minor glitch or a simple balance issue. According to Hamilton, it's something far deeper, far more critical: the brakes. Yes, the most essential component for a driver's confidence, especially at a track like Imola, where absolute precision and control are everything, has become a source of doubt. Before we unpack exactly what Hamilton said, what it means for Ferrari's 2025 season, and why this moment might be a turning point in their entire project, make sure you're subscribed. Because what's unfolding might just be the most telling chapter of Hamilton's time in red so far. Let's go back to Friday. First practice looked promising. Hamilton seemed upbeat, telling the team and the press that the car was starting to come alive, that they'd found something in the SF25 that felt genuinely competitive. But that optimism crumbled just a few hours later in FP2. The car's performance dropped off a cliff. Hamilton's confidence evaporated. And then came the words, broadcast loud and clear: "These damn brakes, mate, these brakes are a problem." This wasn't a casual comment. It was a red flag. Clear evidence that something fundamental had broken down between the driver and the machine. And he wasn't alone. Charles Leclerc echoed the sentiment in his own radio message, describing the braking mode as horrendous. 2 drivers, 1 session, the same complaint, and a shared crisis. But Hamilton didn't stop there. In the interviews that followed, he dropped the real bombshell. This wasn't just a one-off. The inconsistent braking has been there since the beginning of the season. And even more concerning, he admitted he's never experienced anything like it before in his entire racing career. "I've never felt that before," Hamilton said. "It's new for me this year." That's not a throwaway line. That's a statement from a man who has spent nearly 2 decades in Formula One, who's driven every kind of car, under every condition, on every circuit on the calendar. And now, despite all that experience, he's saying what he's facing at Ferrari is unlike anything he's dealt with before. Hamilton didn't hold back. After Friday's first practice, he was genuinely encouraged. His words painted a picture of real progress. "I was really pleased with how the car felt in P1. He said, "It honestly felt like we'd taken a meaningful step forward." But by the next session, everything had unraveled. And the strangest part? The only changes made to the car were minor. So small, in fact, that they should have been virtually unnoticeable. Yet somehow, those tiny tweaks completely altered the feel of the brakes. "It was the smallest adjustment I've probably made all year," Hamilton explained. "And it flipped the car's behavior upside down." That kind of reaction isn't normal in Formula One. This isn't just about fine-tuning anymore. This is a sign of something much deeper, a core instability that even a driver of Hamilton's caliber can't anticipate, manage, or trust. Let's be absolutely clear. This has nothing to do with Lewis adapting to Ferrari's Brembo braking system after years of using Carbon Industries brakes at Mercedes. That theory was quickly shot down by Hamilton himself. He made it crystal clear. It's not about adjusting, it's about performance. And that distinction matters, because what we're dealing with isn't a learning curve, it's a technical flaw, a recurring mechanical issue that hasn't been resolved, and one that's now affecting both Hamilton and Leclerc. So, what's the root cause? Based on the data and feedback available, the SF25 appears to suffer from an erratic brake-by-wire system. The feel and response of the brakes are inconsistent. Sometimes they shift corner by corner, sometimes they fluctuate between runs. That instability makes drivers hesitate when they should be committing, compromises tire warm-up, and erodes confidence during deceleration. And on a track like Imola, where passing opportunities are scarce and lap time hinges heavily on late, precise braking, this kind of flaw is catastrophic. Hamilton went as far as to call it a lottery. His words were chilling. You press one brake pedal and it behaves. The next time, it doesn't. That's not racing, that's chance. For Ferrari, this isn't just a technical headache, it's a full-blown identity crisis. When your lead driver doesn't know how the car will respond from one session to the next, how do you mount a title challenge? How do you refine the setup? How do you maintain team morale in the garage? Now, if we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, the implications are troubling. First and foremost, this casts serious doubt over the consistency of Ferrari's engineering foundation. If the brake system is delivering inconsistent performance within the same session, that points to a much deeper problem, one rooted in quality control. And that's just the beginning. Secondly, it highlights an ongoing disconnect between Ferrari's car development and Hamilton's unique driving style. While Charles Leclerc might be more in sync with the current SF25, even he admitted the team is nowhere near strong enough in qualifying. To take pole, honestly, I don't think we have it in the car right now, Leclerc said after FP2. Yes, race pace looked decent, but when overtaking is nearly impossible at a place like Imola, your entire weekend hinges on nailing that one flying lap. And if your braking system doesn't give you the confidence to attack turn 1 with full commitment, your race is compromised before it even begins. Third, and perhaps most critically, this situation has added enormous pressure within the Ferrari camp. Let's not forget, this is their home turf, Imola. The grandstands are bathed in red, the tifosi are out in full force, and the media is tracking every second of the weekend. Now, in the midst of all that, Lewis Hamilton has publicly exposed a technical issue that Ferrari either couldn't fix or didn't want to acknowledge. That's the real shock. Not just the faulty brakes, but the timing and who brought it to light. When Hamilton speaks, the entire motorsport world pays attention. When he declares that one of the car's most vital systems isn't functioning properly, it's more than a complaint. It's a wake-up call. That kind of statement puts the spotlight directly on Ferrari's technical leadership, on team boss Fred Vasseur, on the entire structure at Maranello. So now the question looms, where does this leave Ferrari and where does it leave Hamilton? The pressure couldn't be higher. Qualifying at Imola isn't just about a fast lap. It's about preserving dignity, maintaining momentum, and reassuring their most loyal fans that this project has a future. Every lap, every sector will be analyzed, every mistake magnified. If either driver, Hamilton or Leclerc, falls short, the whispers will grow louder. Whispers not just about speed, but about decision-making, leadership, and whether Ferrari really has what it takes to return to the top. Hamilton has made it perfectly clear this is no longer about adapting to a new team or learning a new car. It's about whether the car is fundamentally fit for purpose. A driver of Hamilton's caliber can't operate at his peak if the machinery beneath him behaves unpredictably. That's not how you fight for wins. That's not how you chase championships. And it's certainly not what Ferrari promised when they brought him on board. Inside the team, alarm bells are likely already ringing. This isn't a small gremlin. Brake performance is the kind of issue that should have been resolved in pre-season testing, not 6 races into a championship campaign. And yet, here they are, heading into a crucial European round, still gambling with essential systems. That doesn't suggest a small hiccup. It suggests a development program that may not just be stalling, but possibly going off track altogether. Even for Leclerc, who knows the inner workings of this team better than anyone, the frustration is starting to bubble. He's seen this before, too many times. Instead of refining the car, it feels like Ferrari's engineers are constantly putting out fires. And if both drivers are already downplaying expectations in front of the cameras, you can only imagine what's being said behind closed doors. This weekend was supposed to be a celebration, a proud homecoming, a renewed charge to close the gap to Red Bull and McLaren. Instead, it's become a high-stakes crisis management exercise under the brightest lights of the season so far. And while the Tifosi remain passionate and loyal, their patience, like Hamilton's, is not infinite. Ferrari may be built on history, emotion, and prestige. But right now, what they need most is clarity, control, and cold, hard results. Because make no mistake, Hamilton didn't just stir the media. He delivered a direct challenge to the team. Get this fixed, quickly, or risk watching this partnership unravel before it ever really begins. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Is this just a one-off setback, or does it point to something much more serious under the surface? Was Hamilton right to go public, or should this have stayed behind closed doors? And most importantly, can Ferrari still turn things around before it's too late? Comments below. And once you're done, don't forget to click on the video that's popping up on your screen right now. And don't forget to subscribe my channel.